greatest empire on earth.
The others spoke of a kingdom no empire could contain. One believed a man must master himself. The other believed a man must become something greater. If these two men ever sat face to face, who would understand the human soul more deeply? Round 1. What is power?
Power is not noise. It is not display. It is not the ability to make others tremble. Any fool may frighten the weak. Any tyrant may command bodies. That is not mastery. Power begins when a man rules what is within him. His anger, his appetite, his fear, his vanity. If impulse rules him, he is a slave wearing a crown. If reason rules him, then even in poverty he stands above kings. Men admire conquest because they do not understand the greater war. The first kingdom is the self. Fail there, and every other victory is decoration.
Marcus, you speak well of self-command. A man who cannot govern himself should not seek to govern others. But control is not the highest form of power. There are men who discipline their habits, restrain their anger, sharpen their minds, and still remain ruled. Ruled by pride, ruled by fear of losing what they built, and ruled by the hunger to preserve themselves. A man may appear strong because nothing shakes his face, yet all his strength may still be chained to this world.
Then what do you call power? If not rule over self, what is left? Emotion? Impulse? Hope?
Power is truth. A man is powerful not only when he controls himself, but when he is aligned with what is true, even when truth costs him everything. There is power that commands men, and there is power that cannot be conquered, even when men nail it down, mock it, or strip it bare. The first kind is visible. The second kind is greater.
You make suffering sound like victory.
No, it's not. I make a distinction you have not made. There is power over conduct, and there is power over the meaning of life and death. One is difficult, the other is final.
Marcus had defined power like an emperor. Jesus answered as if empire itself were a small thing. No one in the room moved, because neither man sounded defeated, and that made the next question heavier. What should a man do with suffering?
Suffering is unavoidable. To complain about that is childish. Cold, illness, insult, loss, pain, death. These visit every house. The weak man asks why such things happen. The wiser man asks what part of himself remains under his own command. If pain reaches the body, let it reach the body. Why should the mind kneel before it? A wound is one thing. Submission to the wound is another. Men become smaller than their suffering because they give it authority over their judgment. That is the true defeat. Pain is heavy enough. Do not add collapse to it. Do not decorate it with self-pity. Do not worship it. Bear it. Learn from it. Remain upright within it.
Relax, son. You teach men how not to be broken by suffering. That is not a small thing. But suffering is not only something to endure, it is also something that reveals. It reveals what a man loves, what he fears, what he will betray to save himself, and what he will accept rather than betray.
Then you agree with me. It is a test.
Not only a test, a door. Some men suffer and become harder. Others suffer and become clearer. Some cling to themselves more tightly. Others are emptied of illusion. A man may endure pain and still learn nothing. He may survive it and become colder, prouder, more distant. Endurance alone is not transformation.
And what is transformation then?
To suffer without becoming false. To lose without becoming bitter. To be wounded without surrendering love. To pass through pain and come out truer than before. That is greater than mere resistance. The deepest suffering is not the pain of the body. It is the corruption of the soul.
Corruption of the soul? You speak as though suffering has purpose.
It can, but not because pain is good. Pain is not the end. And a man who only learns to endure the world may still never learn what his life is for.
Now this is where the real debate begins. Some admired Marcus because he made men stronger. Others watched Jesus because he kept answering from somewhere harder to name. The third question turned the room colder. How should a man face his enemies?
Most men are conquered twice by their enemies, first by injury, then by hatred. The second defeat is worse. The man who wrongs you acts from ignorance, confusion, appetite, or blindness. If you answer his corruption by becoming corrupted yourself, what have you proven? That evil can reproduce itself through you? No. The wise man refuses this chain. He does not let the offender into his inner life. He remains just without becoming cruel, alert without becoming consumed. He does not hate, he understands. And because he understands, he remains free.
Marcus, to refuse hatred is noble. To rise above revenge is strength, but that is not the summit.
Not the summit?
No, because a man may still keep his enemy at a distance in his heart. He may remain outwardly restrained, inwardly guarded, quietly proud of his composure. He says, "I will not descend to your level." And still, he has not overcome the wound. He has only arranged it neatly.
And what do you ask instead?
That a man embrace injustice?
No. I ask more than tolerance, more than restraint. Love your enemy. Not because evil is harmless, not because truth does not matter, but because hatred deforms the one who carries it. A man who merely restrains hatred still lives with it. A man who loves breaks its authority.
Jesus. Love is a dangerous word. Men use it to excuse weakness.
Then they do not know what it is. Love is not surrender to evil. It is refusal to become evil while confronting it. It is strength without corruption, judgment without poison, clarity without contempt.
Jesus, you ask too much of men.
Marcus, I ask what frees them. It is no great triumph to deny your enemy your rage. The greater triumph is to deny him your soul.
Marcus taught men not to be mastered by hatred. Jesus asked whether even that was enough. The debate was no longer about conduct alone. Now it moved inward, deeper than action, deeper than composure. Now let's hear their opinions about round 4. What rules a man?
What rules a man is what he allows to rule his judgment. This is the beginning of all discipline. Impressions come. Desire comes. Fear comes. Anger comes. But a man is not required to obey every movement that passes through him. He has a ruling faculty, reason, the power to examine, reject, restrain, and direct. When that faculty sleeps, appetite becomes king. When it is awake, a man becomes sovereign over himself. The undisciplined man imagines he is free because he follows whatever rises within him. He is not free. He is being dragged.
You are right that a man is dragged by what he does not govern. But the mind governs less than you think when the heart is already claimed.
Claimed by what?
By what he treasures, by what he serves, by what he cannot bear to lose. A man follows not only what he thinks, but what he loves, and what he loves shapes what his reason will defend. You speak of ruling thought. I speak of what rules the ruler.
Then you place reason below desire?
I place reason beneath orientation. A man's mind becomes servant to his deepest devotion. If his heart is set on pride, reason will justify pride. If his heart is set on status, reason will protect status. If his heart is set on truth, reason may finally begin to serve what is higher than itself.
Then it all begins in the heart?
Yes. What comes out of a man reveals him, not because words are magic, but because they expose the deeper source. You can discipline the face while the inner life remains disordered. You can train posture, speech, appetite, routine, and still remain inwardly divided.
So, self-command is not enough.
Marcus, self-command is powerful, but it is not final. A man may master his impulses and still belong to the wrong thing.
For the first time, Marcus did not answer immediately, because Jesus had not attacked discipline. He had simply asked, what discipline serves? Now, finally, the debate had reached the question beneath every other question. Can a man save himself?
If by save you mean become upright, then yes, a man must participate in his own rescue. No one can breathe discipline into him from the outside. No one can think for him, choose for him, restrain him for him, or make him honorable against his will. A ruined life is built by repeated consent to small corruptions. A stronger life is built the same way, through repeated acts of order, courage, restraint, and duty. If a man wishes to rise, he must rise by governing himself. This is not pride, it is responsibility. To tell men they cannot shape themselves is to excuse weakness. To tell them they must wait to be changed is to leave them idle. No. Let a man begin where he stands. Let him purify his judgments, correct his habits, serve the whole, become worthy through action.
Marcus, a man must act, a man must choose, a man must turn away from what degrades him. On this we do not disagree, but self-mastery is not the same as wholeness. A man may become disciplined and still remain inwardly lost. He may conquer appetite and still worship himself. He may build virtue into habit and still never touch the deepest wound in him.
You speak of man as though he is broken beyond repair.
I speak of man as he is, capable of nobility, capable of discipline, capable of sacrifice, and yet still divided, still fearful, still proud, still capable of gaining the world and losing what is deeper than the world.
Then what do you offer that discipline cannot?
Not permission, not passivity, not escape from responsibility. I offer the thing discipline cannot produce by itself: a new center, a healed relation to truth, a life not built merely on controlling the self, but on being remade at the root.
And you believe man cannot do this by strength alone?
Look carefully at him. He can improve himself. He can refine himself. He can harden himself. He can even make himself admirable. But can he make himself whole? That is another question. The tragedy of man is not only that he is weak, it is that even at his strongest, he is still unfinished.
Then perhaps you ask too much of heaven.
And perhaps you ask too little of the soul. Marcus, Jesus, it has been good. It has. We will speak again. I believe we will.
No winner had been declared, but no one in the room felt unchanged. One offered mastery, the other offered transformation. Marcus has his answer. Jesus has his. Do not forget to subscribe now and hit the notification bell, because the next debate may be the hardest one. Also, type your thoughts in the comments section along with others. Till next time.